I've set out some project notebooks. This is Derek Trucks. So I did 3 or 4 records with Derek. This is the first record. He signed this drumhead, and he says he owes me his firstborn, and he was looking forward to the next 30 years, and it's actually been 18 of those 30 have already gone by, so I never got his firstborn, but anyway, the record was pretty good, and those are the guys who played on it. And so in every record date I'd have project notebooks. So here are project notebooks, and accompanying these are the tapes. So in every project there's cassette tapes or session stuff that's related to the date. So like these are all mixtapes. So we mixed all the different tracks, all the different versions. These are rough comps, and so they're outtakes, roughs right here. And then there's more. What is this? This was, I guess, the first reference master, and then all these session tapes. So these are, and I just run DATs through the whole session. So the whole thing is on a DAT, and they're just multiple copies, bunches of them. And I've never heard those. I don't really know what's there. But there's 3 boxes of that stuff. And there's also some multi-tracks and other things up here. I gave away all the original things back to Derek. So a notebook is like this. So this it's kind of a mess, but these are all the papers. So there's Derek when he was like 8. No, so that was a long time ago, and he's a big boy now. But so I made my first record with him when he was 15. So, and I was shopping. This is the first record I was shopping at the different people. I can see all these record company names, people I tried to get to be interested in that artist and that record, and nobody was. So we put it out ourselves. Notes from Derek. So then there's itineraries. It looks like record company letters where I was trying to get people interested in Derek. And then what is this? More itinerary stuff, bios at the time. Well, this notes from the record date. So, just stuff. All the tracks we did. None of these things have come out. Nobody's ever heard these. These are all this jazz stuff we did when he was 15, and did a whole bunch of tracks. And so it was interesting. Record company stuff, lawyer stuff, clearances, contracts, budgets. These are all the contracts from drafts. So I kept pretty much everything. Budgets. And then stuff like this. This is like a session. I'd make these kind of spreadsheets of the day, and trying to figure out what I had, like how long is every song, what key is it in, what tempo is it, do I need vocals, what's Derek doing, the different guys, what are they doing. So it was a way of keeping track. And then we would do diagrams of each song, so we know where everything is happening from a time sense, and also where the rough mix is, who's on the track, the kind of outline of it, when it was recorded, mixed, all these things. So this is pretty characteristic, like session notes. Here's the W9s, the releases. There's another Derek Trucks picture. Now that kid is like 12 years old. So he's grown up. He's got to be 38 or 39 by now. So there's more, there's different things, letters, legal stuff, financial stuff. It goes on and on. And like this is another version of that stuff I was doing. A session. I said Rico would draw these session lists, and I don't know. He would make art out of them. There were probably a bunch of them around somewhere. Lots of correspondence and stuff. You know, these are like mixed recall sheets. So that's how we kept track of multi-track settings on all the all the EQ settings on different tracks. But I don't know if anybody cares about that. But you know, it's just these are the tracking sheets. It tells you where we put all the different instruments, and then how we kept track of the takes, and that kind of stuff. Very old school. So that's Derek. There's also like signed baseball. So there's a signed baseball of that record date too. So everybody was on that record date signed the baseball, and that's true for this. So this is the Dylan tribute that I did. So these are all the session tapes from that, and you know, a lot of famous people. These are just the outtakes. Here is Bob Margolin's tracks, and we're the different takes of the track we did. Here's a comp of the different stuff. You know, it's just related materials. Rough mixes, session tapes, different people. These are recorded all over the place. So these are the band. So I did the last recording of the band on this record. That was Rick Danko died 2 weeks after we finished that track at Levon's house in Woodstock. So Levon's on it, Garth's on it, obviously Rick, and some other dude, the percussionist. I wonder what those sound like. And this is Holmes Brothers. So there's rehearsal takes, track 1, track 2, take 2, take 3. So if anybody cared about that, that would be that would be something to have. That being the only copy of those other takes. The Holmes Brothers were great, you know. And then the notebooks. So you got stuff to go with it, like James Cotton played on that, and this is James Cotton's harmonica, James Cotton. and then these are the notebooks. So this is the Clapton tribute. That's a Dylan tribute. This is the Dylan notebook. So there are 2 of them. This one record date. So you can see there's quite a bit of material associated with this record. And J.J. Cale, I was talking to him, and what a character, you know. So I mailed him some stuff. I couldn't work it out, but there's his number. He's no longer with us, I'm afraid, so he can't answer, but what a great guy. He's a little bit different, but, you know, great songwriter. So these are all, you know, getting songs. Well, the songs are picked, but which ones do we do? Budgets, all the different information on the different people. So Mavis was on that, Robert Lockwood was on that, Eric Gales was on that, and Peoples, Tom Perkins, so some serious people. Session notes, all the releases. And then this is more of the same. Well, these are lyric sheets. So the way I would record lyrics is I would make these three tracks and make comp vocals. So we'd do the song 3 or 4 times. I learned this from Paul Simon, and make a comp. If you don't get the comp in 3 tracks, throw them away and get some more. So, and that always works. You know, it's just it was a nice technique to prevent having 40 vocal tracks, which in those days would be hard to do since there's only 24 tracks available on one machine. So mixes, different things, notes about what that is, session notes, who's on the track, different takes. You know, it's just my trying to keep track of everything that's happening. I'm not sure what all that is, but there's 2 notebooks of it, and there's the baseball. Let me see if this is the right one, because this is the Zeppelin tribute, and so that's a different set of notebooks. This is the Dylan tribute. So on this record they're the Holmes Brothers. Let's see, Taj Mahal, Dave Smith, Dave Smith, Steve Potts, Derek, who else? Can't read some of these names, but they're all on here. Teeny Hodges, Mavis Staples, Levon Elm. What a fantastic guy. And Rick is on here. There's Garth. There's James Cotton. So, you know, interesting. There are 3 of those in the world. I take 3 balls every day to give one to the artist, one to the engineer, or the record guy, and then I keep one. And so this is Dixie Hummingbirds. So I showed you the lyric from Mr. Tucker. That's Stevie Wonder's Thumperhead right there. Shirley Caesar. Paul Simon is on here, right there. There's a bunch of people on this record. Denise Williams did well. Winona is on here. You know, it's interesting. So, anyway, that's that. This is a Junior Wells. See, Junior is another artist that have a lot of stuff. So you can see I have 3 notebooks and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes of tapes and stuff. And again, I don't keep up. I don't know what's in here. I haven't looked there in years. So here's the roughs or vocals or whatever. Junior Wells vocals, it says. So more DATs, session DATs. Some tape he gave me. I'm not sure what that is. Roughs. There's cats, cassettes, and DATs. This is the record, finished record. These are some tape he gave me of some recording, you know, that some live record or something. And so there's a bunch of stuff. And so a lot of stuff that's associated with these record dates. So again, the record dates this is just full of materials having to do with the date. So correspondence, financials, credits, just all kinds of stuff. So I'm not sure that this is an interesting methodology for keeping track of who's on what. I would try different things from time to time. Computers weren't really a major issue at that point. So, you know, same thing, all session notes, like this is a particular date, who's on it, April 16th, 1996. We did 2 takes of Come On In This House. You know, we picked one. Same, let's just go through the songs and how you overdub it, how you get things put together, what needs to be done. Same kind of approach. Let's see if I have these sheets. They're in here somewhere. Session notes. So that's what that's about. So there's lots of those notebooks, as you've seen. There's probably several hundred. I have the exact count. So, and this, you know, another thing, so these things all have memorabilia with it. So I have a baseball with this. It's a Junior Wells hat. And Michael, his nephew, took care of it and gave me this when Junior died. I think we talked about this once before. And then there's Junior's harmonica. So it's that kind of stuff generally throughout this. And there's also, for each one of these record dates, there's a lot of video. So like these high 8s, that's all, you know, here's the Dixie Hummingbirds. So I shot the whole session with Paul Simon, who's on here, and the Sigma Sign in Philadelphia. So this is all Paul Simon rehearsing and playing with that band. And, you know, so that's interesting for Paul Simon people. And so there's lots of tapes, videotapes that go with each one of these. I don't have a lot of videotape of Derek, but I have some when he was 15. So that's that.